There's a Lao Tzu quote that goes, "Nature never rushes, yet it accomplishes everything." If I have an inspired desire that I wish to attract into my life, should every single step towards the realization of that vision be effortless and
Yes.
with ease, or will there be times of effort like growing pains?
When you're really in the flow, it feels effortless because you've done the efforting as you sifted through the contrast. In other words, the effort factor really is in the sifting through the contrast and deciding what you don't want and deciding what you do want. But once you've launched that rocket and source is flowing to it, then it's the effortlessness that means you're on the path, and it's the feeling of effort that means you're slowing it down. Whew. How important to know that.
So if I feel any kind of struggle, just stop and be still until that positive momentum builds, and then carry it like a flow.
Because think about it. It's a wonderful question, and it's a perfect place here. So let's say you've launched a rocket of desire. You're on the path of it. And the momentum is beginning, and you can feel it. And there's no resistance, and so you can feel it stronger and stronger and stronger. And you could carry that all the way to fruition, and it would just feel glorious and easy all the way. But let's say somewhere along the line, you get too heady about it. It doesn't matter how it gets there, but you've introduced some resistance to it.
Too much thinking.
Too much thinking, usually. So much thinking that you tiptoed into resistant thought.
Right.
There is never too much thinking when you're allowing...
When you're guided.
Well said. When it's inspired. So you're moving along, the momentum is stronger, and then you introduce some contradictory thought to it, and it is in that moment that you feel like you need to try harder. And that feeling is because, and a lot of people have grown accustomed to this, you try to compensate for the lack of alignment with effort, with words, with action.
Right. So
that's why people think that it should be harder. That's why it is a little bit tricky to convince you that you're supposed to feel good and that it's supposed to be easy. Because you've been convinced by others that if it's easy, you're lazy. And path of least resistance is something that you were never encouraged to, you lazy person. Path of least resistance? No, don't get on the path of least resistance, they say. You need to get on the path of diligence. Nobody ever gets good at something unless they try hard. Nobody ever gets a monument built for just laying around and being easy.
Right. So it should be as natural as the urge to eat or drink or even something not thought of, like an automatic process like digestion. It's just happening. It's
perfect.
It's of the universe and source.
That's perfect and brilliant. And haven't you had those experiences where, relative to something that you're creating, that you get in that feeling of flow, where it just feels like the entire universe is converging on your behalf?
There's no recollection of even the thought process in itself. It happened and time disappeared, and it just, that's when you know.
That's what you're reaching for.
It's happened and happening, and that's it.
Your words are perfect. We can't find any improvement.
Thank you.
Yeah.